Guys, in today's video, what we're looking at is we're gonna break down and analyze the exact same rental property in two different ways. I want you to figure out with me today the return on investment of the exact same rental property, but doing it two different ways. A traditional long-term rental property, a normal rental property as we in the investment community understands it to be. You get a house, you rent it out for a year, 2 years, 3 years, however long the lease is, or a vacation rental, short-term rental, Airbnb, VRBO type of property, which is where we're renting a house out by the night, similar to how a hotel would do it. So there's two different methods that people are using right now in the investment community. And I want you to understand that Airbnb is not going anywhere and it's exploding and people are getting a higher ROI off the same property. And let's look at why. So this property right here, we're gonna analyze. This has an after repair value, a market value, an appraised value of $100,000. But we can buy it as is for $80,000 and it needs zero in repair. Just bear with me. Yes, we're gonna just assume you can buy it and it rents for $1,000 coming in. Now, $1,000 I'm trying to choose some round numbers, guys, but a lot of people seem to think $1,000 into $100,000 is a 1% return rent compared to acquisition price, which is seeming to be a method that a lot of people like to use to analyze the rental properties. Now that we know it rents for $1,000, what do we have to do? Let's look at the type of loan that we're gonna use. Most of y'all are gonna use a conventional loan. This requires you to leave 20% of your own money down in the deal. So if you're gonna buy it for $80,000, even though it's worth $100, you're buying it for $80, you're gonna have to bring 20% down of $80,000, which is $16,000, right? That means you're gonna be getting a loan of $64,000 at 4.25% for 30 years. And this is how it breaks down, guys. This is our PITI. If you do not understand what PITI is, this is your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. These are the four main costs associated with owning a rental property. Now, yes, you can have HOA and other fees, but we're just gonna look at this for right now. So let's assume our total PITI, our monthly liability to own this rental property, is $615. What are we gonna do? We're gonna take this down here, which is our long-term rental ROI analyzation, which we're gonna take $1,000 rent minus our PITI, which is $615, creates a positive net cash flow of $385 a month. Guys, bear with me. I know there's a lot on this page here, but it's all gonna make sense in just a second. So we have $385. Now we have to take this by 12 months in a year. So what is our total cash flow that property kicks back to us? It's gonna equate to $4,620 per annum or per year. Now, to get a return on investment, our percentage rate to know how good our investment is, we're gonna take 4,620 divided by 19,000. Now, how did I get 19,000? Let's look up here. This is our total cost out of pocket going into this deal. So we're gonna have closing costs to close this deal. I'm just gonna use a round number of 1,500. Our down payment, remember, we had to bring 16,000 down because they're only gonna finance 64,000 of the 80,000. So we have to cover the other 16,000. Plus, we're gonna have a little bit of carrying costs. I'm assuming that it's gonna take us about a month to get it up and stabilized and rented. You know, that's just a basic number I'm just throwing out there. Some of y'all are gonna take longer, some take less, but that's gonna take a basic $1,500 carrying cost, right? So we're gonna have a total out-of-pocket cost of $19,000 of our own money in this deal. But if we're taking $4,620 cash from the property as far as a return and comparing it to this 19,000, we divide 4,620 into 19,000, leaves us 0.243 or 24.3% cash on cash return. Pretty good, right? How fast can your money double? Guys, go check out the Rule of 72 and look at what a 24.3% interest rate does. Okay, that would be a good return. We're getting 24.3%. As you know in another video, I said I don't ever close on a property unless I'm getting at least 25% cash on cash return on my own money if I have to leave it in the deal. Now let's look at comparing it to an Airbnb short-term rental. Now, most of the people I know doing Airbnb are easily getting into 2/3 of the days of the month being rented out, right? So let's just assume that a 30-day month, we're gonna assume that we get a conservative amount, 2 out of 3 days rented. That'd be 20 days a month. And I know people that are getting these Airbnb properties filled pretty much every single night. In fact, people are fighting to get into them depending on the location. We'll probably film another video talking about where is best to hold these Airbnb properties. But let's assume that we can rent this property for $100 a night. So what Airbnb allows us to do is rent our property out night by night instead of month by month or year by year, right? So it's a short-term rental versus a long-term rental. 20 days, $100 a night, it's $2,000 a month as compared to $1,000 a month. So we're doubling our cash flow. Now, I don't want to go too deep into detail, guys, here. Just kind of stay with me. But yes, you're going to have extra costs, right? Cleaning the property, paying someone to go clean it, moving tenants in and out. So yes, there's going to be more costs than this, but let's just assume that kind of washes out. Now, if we're having $2,000 a month come in, we're going to take our same PITI over here, $615 a month. That's how much it costs us to own the exact same property. But now we're getting $2,000. Minus $615 leaves $1,385 by 12. So if you take $1,385 by 12, or 12 months a year, our total cash flow that we're bringing in off this property is $16,620. Same thing as before, guys. We're going to divide that into $19,000, our cash left in the deal, and that's a big return. 87.4% cash on cash return. But it's the same property, right? So what Airbnb has essentially done is it's taken out property and now how we analyze properties, right? And just kind of thrown it out back, right? What do we do with this now? Any property can essentially be a good property now, even if we're paying 100% of market value, when you look at how much cash you're leaving in the deal versus how much cash flow is coming out and getting a return on investment. So as long as you're getting 25% cash on cash return, you're doing pretty good. Now be careful, guys, because a lot of people are going out and doing this and they're just buying any property in good locations and they're saying, well, my cash on cash return's high, but your leveraged equity position towards market value is low. So say you buy a house at 100% of market value, say you paid $100,000 for a $100,000 house. What happens is if the cash flow is still working and working well because you're in an Airbnb property and it's kind of changed the way we look at numbers, what happens if the market drops by 20 or 30% and you can't cover this and your tenants are moving out and you're having to evict people left and right? If that property does not cash flow, what are you going to do? Or if that property, let me back up. If that property does not have any equity in it, but you have to sell it, what are you going to do? You're in a tough spot. You're going to get foreclosed on, or you're going to have to work a short sale out. So this is the risk if you do buy a property with a very low equity position, even though the cash flow numbers are big. Just think about that and keep reserves on hand and make sure you can weather that storm. That's my only words of wisdom for you there. But there you go, guys. Airbnb is allowing you to take properties that traditionally weren't that great and make them cash flow monsters. Now, obviously, you're going to have to put furniture in these properties and you're going to have other costs associated, but this is just a good idea, a good overhead look down to kind of see the difference in the numbers. So let me know what you think, guys. If you liked today's video, leave a comment below. If you haven't already done so, hit that little yellow bell symbol down there by there where it says subscribe. Hit that button as well, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day.